Okay, everybody, this is I guess the first live with the Group Grow #1 with Blue Meanies. So this is the set of swabs. I'm going to do the streak and dunk method. I'm going to use 2 plates with that one, and then I'm going to do the pedal method, and I'll use 2 plates for that one. So we just open. I've already wiped everything down with ISO and everything's ready. So got a little bubbling on the top of my Agar, but these were the least appetizing looking ones that I figured I'd just use these for the spore swabs. Definitely appears to have a decent amount of spores. Sometimes you can look at these though and you'll see them, they'll be black or blue all the way the whole swab, and there won't be but maybe 3 or 4 spores on there. So what you're seeing there generally is the psilocin or the psilocybin, whatever you want to call it, or just the mushroom gills will stain the swab more so than it's full of spores. But it does appear that there are a lot of spores here. Knowing Blue Meanies, they do spore a lot. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up our plate, and you'll see I just kind of open mine up a little bit. Obviously I'm getting laminar flow coming in, and I'm just going to, I tend to just streak this way, and then I just do a couple of lines that way, and I twist my the swab as I go. I generally will go ahead and do the second one too, and then I'll just set that guy right there, kind of in there a little bit. I'll use saran wrap for like storage after I pour my plates, but I don't know, I just like to use parafilm. It just seems like it works a lot better. At this point I'm protecting my work, so it makes sense. I just make sure I'm over by an inch or something when I wrap. I learned a long time ago, try not to pull this parafilm too tightly. If you do, it'll end up cracking once it starts drying out. And I've set my magic marker down somewhere. I know what these are. Anyway, so that's that one. Get 2 more plates out here. As you see, you'll get sometimes with a little bit of condensation on it like this. What I tend to do when I'm doing agar work anyway is I'll take a saturated, alcohol saturated cloth. This is an alcohol white, and I'll set it out like so, and laminar flow is coming over it. So I'll just take this and I'll pull it back and just wipe it. Boom, like it never even happened, right? So with the pedal method, I guess that's what it's called. That's what most people call it. There's a couple of different ways you can do it. You basically got the same thing. You've got your swab. So I've used Willie Jr. over here to already flame sterilize my scalpel. And the 24 volt will smoke this size tweezers, but I sprayed it with alcohol and I got it as hot as I could. So I'm not scared to use those. So basically, with this method, you still want to wait till your scalpel cools, because if you don't, the heat will kill the spores. Cutting them, chances of you cutting a spore in half is really fucking slim, but you know, you just want to try to make sure you're not, pointing this at you. Some people do 2, some people do 4. I'm going to do, I guess, 2 here. I'm going to separate the swab. It's so damn difficult. That's why I don't like doing this. This is not my favorite tech here. It's something I'm not very good at and whatnot. So, got a little more than half of it. I'm going to go ahead and set that. Take this last piece. You can see there may be spores left on that. I don't know. Always either just get you a label maker and keep it next to you. Maybe even, like Yoshi and some of the other guys, they always seem to make their labels beforehand. That's probably your best bet. Me, I'm sporadic as hell, so I might sit down and start to do one thing, and by the time I'm done, I've done 10 things, or I've done something completely different than what I sat down to do. ADHD's a killer, I guess. But there's 2 more Group Grow #1 plates, and that's how I'm going to label all 4 of these. Group Grow #1 Blue Meanies, or GROUPGROW1BM. BM. Either way, that'll get the point across. So another thing I wanted to go over, why I had your attention and sitting down doing this anyway. Kind of saturated with alcohol. This is just what I do. This is what I do when I take a clone. This is what I'm working with. So this is a fruit called Blue Moon. I believe it's I got it from Zach Rhodes. I believe it to have been from Woozy Fellow, which is, really good guy. Anyway, so this is a revert of an albino. The spores are still translucent. That's bruising you see on the gills. That's just bruising. Of course, there's bruising on the stem, the stipe as well. So now I'm probably going to take this fatty right here. And again, this is just how I do this. This is how I take a clone. Go ahead and get 2 plates set over here. Not much condensation, if any. A little bubbling in the agar, never going to hurt anything. So I'll usually spray the outside of it. I'm going to rip it open with my thumbs. I'm going to tear it open and use a piece of the inside. But I'll spray the outside and just let it sit for a second.